Hey, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Velisa if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 81.
Woo! I think we can do the countdown to 100. We are 19 away. Do you know what? Yeah, I was skeptical.
Lola doubted me.
I did.
I told you.
Yeah.
We're gonna make 100.
But I feel very good about it now. I feel I'm ready. We only missed 1 week since, but we didn't even miss the week. We just missed the week of edit, because I didn't edit the pod when I was supposed to.
So can I say something? Yeah. Today England is playing. Yeah.
Okay.
The final of the Euros.
Yeah.
No matter what we talk about in this episode, if they win, the episode will be called "It's Coming." It came home.
It's true.
But if it doesn't, we just stick to the subjects that we spoke about.
Yeah. Because I had a wedding this weekend, so I've been away since Friday, and we didn't have time to record the episode in the week. So this is Sunday, and the episode is gonna come out on Monday. If you don't see this episode on Monday, don't message us. But it's gonna come out tonight. I mean tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So it's really, and we are gonna leave here. And what time is it now?
It is 10 to 6.
Is it 10 to 6?
Yeah. So we need to record.
This is going to be a quick episode, guys.
So that we can get home to watch England play. I'm rooting for them.
I'm rooting for England as well, yeah. Because, so one of the contacts of my client recently, it was on Wednesday, he was like, I think England's going to win. And I was like, do you really think that? Because realistically, Spain, English would really get pumped, didn't it? Let's be real. But
every single time.
Yeah, listen. But he was like, yeah, he feels like we've got a new government. Oh, we have a new government. We haven't recorded since that happened. Yeah. But yeah, we've got a new government. And he was just like, do you know what? He's holding out hope that this new government is the change is going to be like the end of mediocrity for the UK. And it's going to be a time of prosperity and success. And I was like, do you know what? I didn't think England was going to win. But actually, we need joy in this country. And we will get joy. I don't want anyone to be beating up their spouses. That's the bit I don't like. But the joy I want that for this country. We need something.
Me too. And our new Prime Minister hinted at a bank holiday.
Did he really hint at it, or is he just talking for the sake of talking?
Listen, if he wants to start on a good foot, he needs to make sure bank holiday.
What do you think about? Anyway, we'll come back to that. But yeah, I had a wedding this weekend, and I'm very tired. But I'm here because we are a consistent podcast.
We are here.
We're two consistent babes doing a consistent podcast every week.
Can I just say, you didn't just go to a wedding, you were a bridesmaid.
I was bridesmaid.
I feel like that's context.
Yeah, that's why I'm tired. I'm not tired. I just went.
Being a guest and a bridesmaid is different.
Being a guest and a bridesmaid is different, and also being a groomsman and a bridesmaid is different. Bridesmaids work. Yeah, groomsmen. I didn't even know what verb to use. They exist.
Literally,
they enjoy.
Literally, they have a blast. They have a whale of a time.
Listen, but it was really well organized wedding. Like my friend had this. I think it was 15-page PDF document where it said all the times, the makeup artist, who was going who was going to be where, the exact order of thing, and we all read it before. So it was a very the most stress-free wedding I've ever been a part of.
I love that for you.
Yeah, it was so nice. I was in charge of getting little bits of content, little BTS, all that kind of stuff, and it was literally the most chilled experience. It doesn't mean we didn't have to work, but everyone knew what they were doing. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple, hiccups and stuff, but nothing major. Just a couple interesting decisions from wedding coordinators, and then a couple of things from the venue. At one point, they lost the cake. They took the cake away to cut it, and it never came back. And we're like, "Where's the cake?" And they're like, I'm like, what do you mean? They found it. So,
damn.
Yeah, but it was a good weekend.
It's good.
You did something fun this weekend too.
I did, but I'm going to go back one weekend because I believe it deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
So last weekend I went to something called DLT Presents the Recipe.
Oh, I didn't even know you. Did I know you went? I did know you went to the Recipe. Yes, I did know that.
Yes, I wanted to see Jasmine Sullivan. I'm one of those old heads that saw her 10 years ago.
I love Jasmine Sullivan. What did she perform?
Oh gosh, she did a lot from hotels, but she did
do some old school lions and tigers and bears.
She didn't do that, you
really?
know. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, why don't you give us a rendition?
Do you know what? This is for the person that commented on YouTube and said that Like I was singing a different key to the Kirk Franklin. Yeah, to Imagine Me. This is for you, babes. I'm not scared of lions, tigers, and bears, but I'm scared of loving you.
That's not the right melody.
Yes, it is.
That's not the right melody.
Do you know what? We're not doing this because it was the right melody.
It's not the right melody.
Anyways, DLT, the recipe was amazing. I was in VIP and it was table service with the food and the drinks. Yeah, so they just kept coming. Jasmine was amazing. Sir was amazing.
Did she do our Bust the Windows at your car?
She did.
I love that
she
one.
Did
I love some angry female music.
She did I'm in Love with Another Man, which is my song. Like I used to love that song.
Yeah. I was talking to someone recently about some of these songs which you love, but then when you listen to them, you're like, should I be supporting this music?
Nah, do you know what? That song when I was in uni, child. Anyways.
What's that song? There's a song okay, Me and Mrs. Jones. Obviously that's about cheating.
Is it?
Yeah, when you listen to it.
You gotta think.
Yes. And then what's the other one? There's another one, one Whitney song. Is it Saving All My Love for You? No, there's one song I have a thing.
Do you know what song was for me that tripped me out? What? Mariah Carey, Honey.
But what? How did it go? This can't be a bad song.
The honey is sperm, honey.
Oh, I didn't like stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, it tripped me out. I didn't know. I love that song.
You don't love it any less now.
You know, but yeah, it was really good. So shout out to DLT, it was amazing. And then this week I was in mum mode. So my son is obsessed with monster trucks, like Hot Wheels and Monster Jam trucks. Like if you come to our house, there's about 10 to 15 little trucks, big trucks. And then he also watches Hot Wheels on YouTube and finds the truck that he's watching to play with. And his birthday just happened, so a lot of people got him new trucks. Which I was just like,
happy about.
Like, there's just nowhere to put them. Like, and
you need a little display case.
Oh my god! Well, he breaks them. Like his favorite one that he takes everywhere is Bigfoot, and this is his second Bigfoot. We got him a new one because the first one broke. He's broken the new one too. Then he was fighting to get someone else's Bigfoot.
What I didn't really understand what monster trucks do, but if you're telling me they do backflips and stuff or flips, then that's probably what he's doing with them.
Yeah, he's definitely like holding them in the air and like throwing them down the steps because he thinks they're supposed to like bounce back. Yeah. So yeah, he's obsessed with them. So I found out that there was a Monster Truck show happening in London in the West Ham football stadium.
That's all it was.
Yeah, and I found my tribe because there was a lot of mums and dads there with kids holding their trucks. And my son, if you know my son, he takes his truck everywhere, sleeps with it, holds it. The only place he doesn't take it is nursery. So I was just tripped out to see tens of thousands of people there to see monster trucks. It was so wild.
I think that's crazy.
It was mad, but it was cool. So we brought a few of his trucks that we knew we were going to see. And so, yeah, it was cool.
But the trucks are like, okay, so could be a dumb question. The truck he has, are there like several of those trucks around the world, or is it literally one truck? So when they do their monster truck shows around the world, they just have, the trucks are not traveling, they're just a local version.
I don't know. I feel like they must travel. Because Monster Jam has their own set of trucks. So they have Gravedigger, Megadon, like all these.
The names are.
Yeah. They got El Toro Loco. They have theirs. Hot Wheels has theirs, like Bigfoot, Demo Derby, like Bone Shaker. They all have
Bone Shaker.
All the trucks have their own theme song. Like if you go on Spotify and you type in.
It's like wrestling.
Yeah, like if you type in Hot Wheels, like Bigfoot has its own theme song. Bone Shaker has his own theme song. Like it's a whole new world I never had a clue about until my son got interested in monster trucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're thinking to take him to the Hot Wheel exhibition in Manchester.
Manchester's fun.
I just feel like when you've got a young child that
who's interested in something,
you just gotta like joy, humor them. Yeah, they like it. So, and now I'm here.
Now we're here. What's been happening? Well, we have new government.
we have a new government. There was an alleged assassination yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
just heard pat, but I didn't see. I haven't seen.
I saw a tweet that said, if you're from the school of Olivia Pope, you cannot trick me. You cannot trick me. I've watched too much Scandal to believe that what happened.
I think it's for sympathy.
I think he set that whole thing up, even the fist in the air at the end, and photo opportunity straight away. It just don't make sense to me. I believe that.
Does make you a conspiracy theorist? I think it does.
No, because Shonda Rhimes has told me everything I need to know about what's going on in this political world.
I think this makes you a conspiracy theorist. Do you think so? I think it does.
The fact that it was glass that hit him and not a bullet, and he was talking like it was a bullet that hit him. He's a joker. And then somebody said, Biden's probably going to say, "Oh, my sympathy is with Kennedy at this time."
Oh my gosh. Joe Biden, what's going on with him? Because for a long time people have said he's obviously not 100% there in it. Like he's just a puppet in the front in it. But what did he call? He called Zelensky Putin.
Yeah, he did.
That's literally like of all the heads of state that you could have called him. Why can't you just call him a young Macron?
I know, so bad.
That is bad.
But maybe I'm a conspiracy person because I think he's holding on so that, when he passes to the other side, Kamala just takes over. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit easier than having to go through a whole new election.
But even if he died, I don't know how it works in the US, but in the UK, let's say Keir Starmer dies, it's not going to go to a general election. They'll just give it to another Labour person.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that's why he's holding on. Like, that's why I think he didn't step down for this election to let Kamala stand. I think he knows that it has to be him.
Yeah,
and then
that people get behind.
Yeah, and then Kamala will just take over. Yeah. If that happens, we'll...
We used to make some predictions on this show, and
they
were all legit.
Okay. It's giving Simpsons.
What predictions are you making for the Euros?
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Let's do it.
I think England will win on penalties. Okay.
I have to say England will win because I don't want to put negative things in the atmosphere and I need joy. I think... I would have said what you said. Now I'm going to go something else. I think England will win in extra time.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
I mean, that's my real prediction.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, if one of us is right, then the other person has to bring them a baked good. Because I don't need baked goods, but that's fine.
I can do cookies.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I just realized I don't have a kitchen.
Look at you, see, you're making fake promises. Get out of here.
I can buy you something, but you're going to bake it with yourself.
Oh, do you know what you can do? Because you're not too far. Can you get me buffalo wings from After Hours?
Which one? The one that the scary one or the good one?
New Cross one, please.
Crazy. I will. I can commit to doing that.
And I will bake cookies.
What do you think about days off for work? Like some of the employers saying that you go get a day off if England win.
I love that.
Yeah, I think for employers it makes sense, but not for the country. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's not even the World Cup.
It's still Euros though.
So?
Oh my gosh. Nah, I think we would, the whole country should have a day off.
For the Euros?
I believe so.
Is football our national sport, yeah? Officially?
I don't know. A part of me wants to say it's rugby.
What? I feel like
football is like the sport in the world. It is. Everybody's watching the Euros and Copa America right now. So I just feel like the country does deserve a bank holiday.
Yeah, I feel like World Cup is different, and if it has to be your national sport, and also when the Lionesses won.
That's true. It wasn't given. That's true.
No,
that's not good.
No. Yeah. So. I don't know. I think like one of the companies I used to work at, I saw on LinkedIn that the CEO had announced like, listen, everyone gets a day off on Monday. Hopefully we'll be celebrating, but if not, you just have the day off. Probably going to be like out late and blah, blah, blah. And schools, one of the people from my friend's sister-in-law is a head teacher. And she was saying that some of the schools in their like local area have said they're closing the register later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even know what closing the register meant, but now I know. Basically, like when kids have to show
attendance.
kids, they show up at like 8:45, and if they're not there by like a certain time, then you have to start making calls home to parents. But they're gonna push that time back, and some are pushing it back as late as 11, because they know the kids are probably gonna be out pushing the game. It might be harder to get them to school.
Wow.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, and the parents probably gonna be up late, and that's crazy for football. I mean, I like football as much as the next person, but not like that.
We're in England, like on my road, like every other house has an England flag outside.
I mean, it's so sad what people have done to the England flag. What certain groups have done to the England flag.
The connotations.
Because I just think, that's such a nice patriotic symbol. But I just think, like, if I was walking down the street and I saw England flags in the window, I'd want to run.
I 100% feel like, I get the "This is England" vibe. If you've watched that before,
like make England great again.
Yeah, literally.
Make Britain great again. Speaking of, we have a Labour government.
We do.
And there was loads of stuff that we said that Labour wanted to do.
Yeah.
If they won. Mm-hmm. And they said that they would bring new legislation in within 100 days. Mm-hmm. So it's possible that in a couple of months we'll be looking at some new employment law that we'll have to get our heads around.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't wait. Like, I had a meeting at work and I brought it up about what it would look like from a HR standpoint, particularly around the day one right to unfair dismissal.
HR shaking in their boots.
It changes everything, because I feel like a lot of HR professionals, when they talk to managers, they stress the 2-year thing and how that's the logic behind how they deal with different employees at different stages in their career. And then, like, this is just going to change everything. It's going to be
if they do that, it will be the biggest change that I'm aware of in employment law for so long. It'll be the thing. When I say the biggest change, I mean the change that will affect the most people so quickly. I think that'll be I think it's a good thing to do, but I think it'll be crazy. It's going to increase the workload. It's going to put so many people are going to be having to manage risk so much 100%. More. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. It's going to definitely increase workload, but I don't see it as a bad thing or a negative. So
it's going to force people to manage their people. It's going to force people to think proactively. There's so many things that are going to happen as a result, and I think most of them are probably going to be very good.
Yeah, can't wait.
It's exciting. And then in other election news, Reform UK got how many seats did they get? 4?
I thought it was 7. Was it 4?
I don't know, but they got too many.
They did get too one. More than one is too many.
And it was very it was just really shocking to me, actually, how obviously I know people are really upset with the Tories, and Labour really wasn't giving much to say, and so maybe some people have been frustrated and thought, to be honest, I think I'm being too generous. What could actually lead you to thinking, yes, I want to vote for Reform UK? What could actually lead you there? I get that a lot of people get frustrated voting the Green Party, who actually had very sensible policies and things they wanted to bring in. But what could make you want to vote for Reform UK?
So I actually read some of their promises, and they promised to increase the tax-free allowance from 12.5 to 20k. No stamp duty on houses.
Was it costed?
I don't even know. No stamp duty on houses under 725k. What else did they have? There was a few where if it was just those policies, you'd be like, this is a dream party. But then you add everything else to it and you're like, yeah, no.
But who's that for though? No stamp duty on houses under 725k. Currently it's up to 300. So that's obviously aimed at wealthier people, that one. And it's then the tax, I guess everyone benefits to an extent. I just don't really know who their market is besides racists. Let's be real.
It's true. I don't know. But yeah, I'm indifferent about the new government. Nothing can be worse than what we had.
I just hope they just do a very good job. I literally, at this point, we have the government that we have. Just do a good job. Even when the Tories were in, I'm like, I can't fight you. Maybe I didn't want you in, but you're in now. Just please, just do the best job that you can do. Just do the best job that you can do, please.
Yeah, it's gonna be so interesting. Oh gosh.
I have like one thing that I was have to talk about, and it's like, I don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. That because we haven't been here for 2 weeks. That prison officer.
Oh, we're moving on. Oh, yes.
The prison officer that was.
Explain, Lola.
God. So every now and again, I'm really not easily shocked by things. Every now and again, something will happen that will let me know that there's some really, truly mad people on this earth. Like, mad. Like, helter skelter. Like, no brains, no sense, just junk for brains. So there's basically been a video that has circulated of a female prison officer having sex with an inmate whilst at work. Yeah, this is not like at work in the cell. Yeah, having sex at work already was wild. Yeah, but obviously it happens from time to time. But having sex with an inmate is when you have a duty of care over that inmate. I'm not saying that the inmate was a super vulnerable, blah, 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 but actually they're incarcerated. So I guess they are kind of vulnerable in that sense. And also you're in a position of power over that person. And it's just really crazy that somebody would do that, like put your job on the line. And when I first heard, I saw some stills from the video. And when I first heard about it, I just thought, you know what? I think I give people too much credit. And I just thought there must be more to this story. Like, there must be so much more to it. It can't just be like, I assumed it was a secret recording. Like, she had been caught in the corner. And it was, I don't know. I knew it wasn't going to be some love story or something like that because, let's be real. But I really, really wanted to just understand more because that's your whole job. Like, your whole career that you've put on the line for... I promise you, there's no sex that's good. That's that good. It's impossible. For your job and your future and your reputation and potentially going to prison. Anyway, I'm really ashamed to say that I have seen the video for journalistic purposes only. And I promise you, it is something I would love to forget. Yeah, I couldn't really watch the whole thing. I kind of scrubbed through it. It was gross. But basically, it's not a secret recording.
It's not.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. And basically, for me, when I found out who she was, everything just made sense because I watched the Channel 4 program that she was on.
The one about swingers.
Yeah. So when I saw who she was and that she was on that, I was like, well.
Yeah.
And that can't have been the first time. So I was like, okay.
So I'm going to set the scene for you, yeah. It's a prison officer in a cell with two men, yeah. Already, I would already be scared, yeah. She's in full uniform. She's got her badge. Everything is on show. Like, there's nothing anonymous about this video, yeah. And she's got her radio on, which is I think on her trousers, which are around her ankles, basically. And she's having sex. She's looking at the camera. She's giving it like it's not like it's really giving OnlyFans, yeah. It's not. It wasn't. I really thought how naive of me.
She didn't.
How naive of me. I thought it was like, this woman was doing this really bad thing, obviously very bad, and she was caught. But no, she was in the video, and the worst part of the video, like the person recording literally comes right beside them, so it's definitely not like a secret recording. And then there's a guy who's recording, and at one point he says, "This is how we're living in Wandsworth."
That's
and I wanted to throw up in my mouth because
crazy.
Where did you think this video was gonna go? Why don't have phones?
I don't think it's the first time she's been
recorded. Of course, it's not.
So she probably thought that it was going to stay contained. I don't think she...
No, but I don't think you can, because when someone said, "This is how we're living in Wandsworth," it's given World Star. It reminded me of World Star. Like, the person is speaking to somebody. Like, you must know. You must know that this is... And now she's like... somewhere. Obviously disgraced. And I think they said she might get... Well, she's facing jail time because she's like abuse of a public office or something. Yeah.
So with that, she doesn't have to go through any sort of disciplinary. I'd love to be the person who did the disciplinary though.
I would love. But when you sat there, you say, "So, do you understand the reason that you're here today? And like, do you have the allegations?" Reading out the allegations, the evidence.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
What do you say in that situation? Like, the evidence is really like.
Damning.
You know, they say caught red-handed. You know what's the saying? He got caught with his trousers down. Like, literally, she did.
Literally. But she's not the first prison officer. I know the guy who was involved in Lola Taylor's murder. He got caught with a prison officer as well. Like, same thing. I don't even know if it was her. It might have been.
Was it like Myra Hindley? Was it her or was it was it Rose West? One of them was like when they were in prison, like actively trying to seduce prison officers and get them to have sex. And I can believe, like, obviously it does happen, but every now and again I get shocked by something that I really probably shouldn't be shocked by, because I know it does happen, but I didn't know that it happened so blatantly that someone would be brazen enough.
I think it was the thrill of it, you know. I think it was the thrill of it based on the lifestyle that she lives.
Yeah.
I feel like
also she does have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I feel like based on the lifestyle
with her husband, she's a married woman.
She is. They got a kid as well who she needs to really take off her TikTok. Like, you live that lifestyle, so do you know what I mean? I'm more intrigued by when you become a prison officer, obviously you must go through a lot of training and stuff, but do they prepare you for the fact that if you're a woman working in, you know, a male prison, the fact that there will be men in there who will try to seduce you or haven't had sex for a long time?
I reckon it's probably more about safeguarding. So I reckon because they assume, the assumption is not going to be that you're going to, I think when it comes to men, to be honest, people would there'd be more safeguarding about the female inmates.
About the
female inmates. Whereas when it comes to female officers, I reckon the safeguarding probably goes more the opposite way when they're talking about female officers within around
male prisons.
I know someone who used to work in a forensic prison, and just like a prison, like a forensic hospital. Yeah, and like a hospital, like a mental health hospital, where if the people went in there, they would be in prison. Do you know what I mean? Because they have done crimes, but they're not mentally well. And apparently the nurses, like the female nurses, would have sex with the
thing,
yeah. But with like, you get also people that have like personality disorders in there as well, like narcissists and whatever. So maybe they're not like vulnerable in that sense. But like I don't know, I just really struggle to understand something like that. Like, why would it can never be, like, why is it worth risking? My big fear is that this lady is going to end up on I'm a Celebrity or something.
Oh my gosh, that would just be ridiculous.
No, but I can imagine that, because this country has a really big history of rehabilitating like people who have done crazy things.
I think that's part of the reason why Faraj even like got as far as he did, the exposure that he got on I'm a Celeb. I think it really helped him.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm not even allowed to talk about it anymore, but there was Jade Goody. Rehabilitated her image. Yeah. Her son is so cute though.
Bobby.
The one from EastEnders. Yeah. So cute. But yeah, like, she's one of the people who originally she was like got really famous for maybe not doing a good thing. Then she became a celebrity, and that was kind of all erased. Nigel Farage. What's that guy's name? The other MP. Come on. The one that was grabbing Batty in the office during lockdown. Matt Hancock.
Yes, I forgot about him.
Matt Hancock.
Yeah. Same thing. It's not good.
Yeah. So let's see. But I just couldn't believe that, and now it's kicking off like loads of investigations into like how this was able to happen. Is this something that happens in practice? Obviously, the fact that inmates have phones like that is that they're not supposed to have. So now they're doing loads of investigation into it, and if they do a proper investigation, I reckon they're going to unveil so many things, because I know there must be just so many abuses.
100%. And
they're going to have to. I would love to know how they're going to deal with this case, because obviously she's a woman, and I think it was kind of sensationalized when it happened, but everyone's kind of forgotten already because it's been now a couple of weeks. But I wonder if they're going to make an example of her, because I think it would be bad if I think it probably is quite bad if she's treated with more leniency than a man would be.
I think it is bad, but I feel like that's what will happen.
Because I don't think people, the man, they're now showing pictures of the man who she was having sex with.
And
but I don't
has a pregnant girlfriend and stuff, right?
Is he pregnant?
The guy she had sex with, his girlfriend is pregnant.
With him?
Yeah.
When did he go in?
I can't remember.
I think he committed this crime a couple of years ago, but I don't know when he got.
Yeah, he didn't go to prison until like a couple of years later. But I think she was like just recently pregnant when he went in, and now she's like 7 or 8 months pregnant.
That's crazy.
With his kid, yeah.
That is really crazy. Listen, you can't even. If there's one place you think, okay, my man's probably not.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's loyal. He's loyal in there, but then look.
Oh God,
crazy.
You know what they say? Like, if they really want to, men will embarrass you.
Listen, if I speak,
but yeah. So I don't think people are like looking at him like a vulnerable person.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. Okay, so obviously, I stay on Twitter. I think we all know this by now. But there was a tweet that went viral, and I was saying to Lola, like, I know a tweet has gone viral when it ends up on Instagram as well, and it's not just on Twitter, and that's what happened with this particular tweet. So somebody tweeted, I got a job offer as a real estate agent in London. The money is nice, but the hours are insane. I don't know what to do. It's bugging me. I've just been sitting on the contract. I don't know. Okay, I was about to sign it, but no, I'm not doing this to myself. Almost 60 hours for 50k is not worth it. OTE, sorry. No job is worth having no work-life balance for, which I value a lot. I just finished uni. There's no rush. So basically, even though this person clearly has said they're out of uni, there's a lot of quote tweets saying, you're young, you can get that 50k OTE, you should work it, that's good money to get straight out of uni. And then other people are like, just enjoy your youth, you don't have to do that, you can get a job for less money and have more of a balance, blah, 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 blah. And then some people even took it further and said, well, when you get to 50k and above in the workplace anyway, that's how you're going to have to work. And then other people were like, no, the more senior you get, the less work that you do and the more money you get. So loads of layers to what I saw, but that was the tweet that triggered it all.
I mean, that OTE part is very important.
I think it's very important.
So OTE stands for on target earnings. And we both used to work at a recruitment company, so I think we really understand what that means. So when there's somebody, I want to know what his contract.
Complain about this.
Listen, I want to know what the contract actually said, because you can't really say 50k OTE in the contract. You might put that at the cover letter, like, we expect that your on target earnings will be 50k, but and out of uni, that's actually not that uncommon, because usually it's recruitment roles, estate agent roles where your salary is like 22k, 24k, 25k, and then you make up the rest on commission, and you can get up to 50k if you're hitting your targets and you're doing all that, and it probably would be the long hours. But I feel like, again, straight out of uni, like 50k sounds very lovely, but actually you're gonna have to work, and if you don't hit your targets, you're not getting that 50k. So I think a lot of people, number one, don't know what they're talking about, and it shows all of this, like, if by the time you get to 50k you're mid-senior, like, it just depends on the job that you do. And also, like, when you're at a senior level or mid-senior, you have to work those kind of hours, or you work less hours or whatever. It's very job dependent, don't you think?
I think it is job dependent. I think I believe that the more senior you get in a majority of job roles, the more autonomy and control you have over how you structure your day, 100%. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing less work. It just means you're more strategic about how, when you do your work.
You have more control.
You just have more control. But I don't believe that you're doing anything less. I think with the person who tweeted, like you said, we both worked in recruitment, and let me tell you, with the recruiters, when they weren't hitting their targets, they were so stressed. They would be in that office till late trying to hit their targets.
And it's the same for estate agents.
It's literally, so for those people who were like, oh no, you're young, you should just do it, and it's like, nah, don't, unless your bag is sales. Like, you just get, some people, their personality type is sales. Like, they love it. They love doing it. They love being on the phone. They love all of that. Fair enough. But if you're just trying to make money, that's not necessarily the way to go.
No. Yeah, and like, even the people that sold me my flat, the actual estate agent that I was working with has moved to a different branch, But the people that sold my flat, they call me so regularly to the point where I had to say, like, just to be like, oh, what's going on? Like, are you thinking about selling? You think about renting? Just trying to do business development. And I had to say to them, look, I'm so sorry, but please can you stop calling me? Like, when I need something, a valuation or to sell it or to rent it, I will let you know. But until then, please stop calling me. And it's because there'll be a hungry person on the other side of the phone who's probably not hitting targets, who they've said, you know what, why don't you try and call our old customers, generate some business that way? And they're just really looking for money. And that's what it means to be in that sort of environment. And it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for me. It's not for me.
It's not for me at all.
It's not for the faint-hearted at all.
Yeah, like I see some of the, even where I am now, there's salespeople, and I see some of the money they make, and I'm like,
insane.
That would be lovely. Yeah. Like just from one quarter, you get this. But when I see and hear what they have to do, my spirit doesn't take to that.
Yeah, I know
that could never be me.
I know I'm not willing to do it.
Nah.
I don't think I would be very good at it.
And I think I'd actually be good in sales.
No.
Yeah, I've got the,
the gift of the gab. I do sales now, but most of my sales are like relationship sales, or like I have to pitch like our business and stuff, and that's all fine. But I can only sell that because I know that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
it's different.
I only sell to people that I know. Most of our inquiries are inbound, so they're already people that want
They're
help.
Interested, yeah.
Not all that cold calling. I only cold
call.
Not
cold calling.
I only cold call on Teams.
Really?
I love that started such a big debate on TikTok, by the way.
There's literally split of cold callers and non-cold callers.
I found my tribe.
And I found mine. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that, yeah, people were just so triggered by, I feel like money, whenever money's mentioned on Twitter or Instagram and these sorts of things, I feel like people just jump on it straight away. And 50K, we've spoken about it before, like we said, a lot of people won't see 50K in their career, but then when you put it into perspective of OTE, then it's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed. And I was going to say something about that. I can't remember now. It literally just fell out of my head. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think working 70 hours straight out of uni is crazy. I think working 70 hours any time in your life is crazy. But listen, it's not your dad's shop. The people that I worked 70 hours, you know who works those kind of hours? I don't know if they still do it, but like investment bankers, like they do it. I know someone, that worked in investment banking for like 5 years in the same kind of investment bank when they came out of uni, and they just looked very old after. Like, I just think it's this working in that sort of stressful environment, working the kind of long hours. Some people are fine with it, some people are not. But it's just like, no, like, why would you want to work that many hours in general? It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And for 50K OTE, investment bankers are making 50K and there's no OTE. Do you know what I mean? Like, straight out of uni, you're getting like 50K plus a very heavy bonus, and there's no OTE on the end of it. That's like salary. So even then, you have to be someone that knows why you're there, what you're doing. But 70 hours is crazy.
That's not for any
job. Even I think he said in the end, maybe not 70, it'd be like 50 something hours. But that's even crazy still.
Yeah, that's not for me. I feel like obviously there's days where you'll do more hours than you usually do. But in those sorts of environments, it's consistent. Like, you're consistently working late, you're consistently working overtime, and yeah, that's just...
Did I ever tell you? I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but there was... I used to work... When I rented out my spare room, I had a guy who was a recruiter. And one time I locked myself out, and I think it was like 4 o'clock or something, 4 p.m. I was on a day off, he was at work, and I called him because I had the spare key of my mum. Obviously he had a key as well. So I called him and I said, look, I've locked myself out, blah, blah. Can you come home? Because we were also like, cool. And it was 4 p.m. I'm like, and it's from his job to home, it would have been half an hour. So he was like, I need to ask my manager because he usually finished at 6. And when he would get there, I think he worked like the German market. So he had to be at his desk by 8 and he worked until 6 or something like that. It was crazy. And then he came back to me like 5 minutes later and my manager said no.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He used to go to work in a full suit. This is before COVID. So he used to go to work in a full suit, every day from 8 till 6. I called him at 4 p.m. to come home early, see if he could, so I could like help get myself out. And his manager said no.
That's
his manager
crazy.
literally looked at me like, he said, my housemate's locked out. Can I just go home a couple hours early? Maybe even log on from home. Who knows? But yeah, he's like, my manager said no.
That's mental. That's mental. I would start looking for a job that same day.
I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
I was like, why? What? He's like, yeah, my manager said I can't come. And I just get my mom to put the key in an Uber. But I just thought that was wild.
Crazy. I would look for a job the same day. I would look for a new job.
But that, that's a lot. Like, there's some big recruitment firms, like Hayes, S3, and all that. S3 have a lot of different brands, like your Hudsons, Michael Page, all these recruitment companies, they all have very similar like ways of working. The way they teach people, it's very heavy control environment, very heavy target driven, KPIs. They teach people the repetitive process of recruitment, and it does work. So it helps them to learn, but it's literally like working. You may as well be working in a widget factory. Do you know what I mean? Do this, press this, hand it over. Like it's very like kind of just conveyor belt, process driven kind of working, and it works for them. But all of those sorts of environments, and it's the exact same in the estate agents, whether you work at KFH, whether you work at Foxtons, whether you work at whatever the others are called, Acorn, like it's always the same thing that they teach you. So those are very heavy office environments. Like there's no like very limited autonomy, which is when someone tells you they can come if they can go home. Which is why when someone tells you if they can go home 2 hours early, you saying you actually feel like you can say no.
No, it's true. I remember the recruitment company I was at, when they would recruit recruiters, they used to target people who used to be in sports. And they also used to target estate agents as well to come and work for them. And it was so interesting. But one thing I noticed...
hospitality sometimes as well, because the people that work in bars and hotels, they know they know good customer service, and they also they don't have any issues working those long hours.
But one thing I noticed is eventually a lot of people, so basically where I was, let me start again, where I was the only black person in HR as per, and so a lot of the black recruiters kind of made me their therapist, and just hearing from them, I could just tell that it was just so bad. Like they all were so broken down, or like just weren't happy. And now I see a lot of them have left and they are like really happy, or they're doing so much better. And like, one of them was actually on Too Hot to Handle.
Is that doing well? Is that what you mean by doing well now?
Okay.
Well done them.
Good for you, But like it's just, I don't know. But yeah, we'll kind of segue. So I was on Twitter, as I do again, and I found a thread that had like thousands of quotes about green flags. No, how do you know? No, let me just find it, because I'm just gonna...
What are the green flags for an employer to know it's a good place to work?
Yeah, so it was, what are the green flags that a company is a great place to work at? Yeah. Well done, Lola.
Thank you.
Great. One that kept coming up was people boomerang. So for people listening, so boomerangs are people who leave a company and then eventually they come back. So if you get a lot of people who boomerang, that's a green flag. I agree with that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Saying that, I only have one company that I would boomerang back to that I've worked at.
Would I? I've got one as well.
Yeah, just one though.
What's another green flag? I was going to say employee referrals for very specific ones. You know, when people when you know people there who actively, wants to recruit you, not just like because they're looking for a fee. Like when you speak to the people,
and they genuinely you should come and work here.
Genuine employee ambassadorship, like where the employees are like, no, it's genuinely a good place to work, no pressure. But if you want it, come, it's great. Where it's not like, oh, guys, go and recruit people, we'll give you £1,000, when they just do it because they want to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. someone said parents who work full time but are still able to be active in their kids' lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good one. A whole team who's, I don't know if I agree with this, but a whole team who's been there 5 years plus, because that's good insight into.
I think having having a good amount of new and old people,
yeah, I agree.
It's better.
I
feel like this is an obvious one, but like, you know, Glassdoor, like reading genuinely positive Glassdoor comments where it doesn't look like it's been like gamed.
Yeah.
For people who have been there for like different lengths of time as well.
Yeah, I always go on Glassdoor before going for even interviews. So I will always check what the interview process was like for people and see. And if I see it's really bad on Glassdoor, then I will just not. Like, for example, you know, when you hear a big company, you just assume that they should be good to work for.
Yeah.
So at one point, I'm just going to name and shame because I feel like I've spoken about them enough on my own platform. But I was in the interview process for Amazon.
You know what? Yeah, I knew I was going to say Amazon because whenever anyone has anything negative to say about a big company, the first one that comes to my head is Amazon, and it's always Amazon.
Yeah, I was in the interview process at Amazon, and the more reviews I read, the more comments I saw from LinkedIn and Glassdoor. I emailed the recruiter. I said, I'm dropping out. And I told him exactly why I was dropping out. I was like, I've seen too many bad reviews. I was like, this company can't be good for me. Like, I'm not doing it.
Also, for specifically the HR jobs, I would say, that's more of a red flag. But I think for HR jobs, when they basically tell you that there's not much ER, I think it's quite good. Like, and I say that as like the opposite of red flag, because when you go and they ask, like, I went to a job interview once and it was a HR role, and I was like, what's the majority, like what's the bulk of the work? And it was all ER, long-term sickness, stress cases, all of that. So when they have like a good mixture of work and it's not all focused on just like ER, respectfully, for the size of the company, of course.
Yeah.
I say good policies, good like family-friendly policies.
Yeah, I think that's important. I feel like the older you get, the more you look at certain policies where you're like, okay, they care. Like Netflix having a 12-month maternity full paid leave is just...
I would work there on that basis alone. Lots of people would. Lots of people would.
That's amazing. So yeah, like stuff like that are good policies.
And sick as well. Like companies that have good paid sick leave, and it looks like they actually want to look after you, and good insurance policies, good private healthcare, like all the, like, not just benefits for the sake of having benefits which are there to look after you. I think
they've thought of everything.
Yeah,
that's good. Someone said celebrate diversity.
What does that mean?
So they gave an example of like when it's Diwali to like have a themed whatever, but I hear it, but some of
that's just optics.
I feel like some of it's a bit performative. Maybe because
I'm a bit...
You jaded?
Yeah, I'm a bit jaded because I've been at companies which celebrate all those things,
and there's still so much going on. Yeah, so I'm a bit like.
I'd say celebrate diversity in. Not just in words, but in action. So, for instance, I worked at a company where you had a certain amount of holidays, but they said if you want to shop your bank holidays for other religious holidays or festivals which are more aligned to you, then
I love that. One green flag that keeps coming up, like to see if a company is a good place to work, is the onboarding experience. I think that's very important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and how they help you to get up to speed and how they support you at the beginning. Yeah,
I think there's a fine line though between a good onboarding process and feeling like you're joining a cult.
Yeah, all this family stuff.
Yeah, there's like I've had an onboarding that was like really rubbish. I've had an onboarding where I was like, okay, this is quite balanced, and they've given me space to kind of also find things out on my own and do my own research in the company. But I feel like I've also had the almost cultish experience as well, which was a fantastic onboarding. But I genuinely felt like, oh my gosh, like
they're trying to indoctrinate me into their way.
Like it felt a bit strange of like the label you get, because like for example at Google you're a noogler, which I think is very,
no, they call it noogler.
Yeah, you're a noogler.
Not a Googler.
No, yeah, you'd think they would just go with Googler, but it's actually a noogler. No, when you're new. So
noogler.
Yeah, so you're a noogler.
Okay.
At Facebook it was a noob.
Noob.
Yeah, it was a noob.
Okay.
So these they all have their own like thing, and I just feel like sometimes that feels a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, you're a baby Googler now, and now you're on the way to being a Google. And I do Google. Don't write me off, because if you call, I'll come right now. But like it just it's just very brand heavy. Yeah. So I feel like it can be borderline of like what is good onboarding and what is very intense onboarding. So
I think another green flag is the actual recruitment process. Like, are they posting the salaries on the job adverts? How much information are they giving you?
Candidate experience.
Looking at like, even looking at the job description, do they really know what this job is going to be? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you read the job description and you're like, this is a ChatGPT job description, or it's like a job, it's like, it's all of that kind of stuff that you don't know. But a well-written, thought-out job description which has a salary on it and all that kind of stuff. This is
a red flag. But I hate when I read job descriptions and they've written a biography. Like, do you really expect one person to look at this job description with all of this stuff, and it literally is a one-man band basically job description, and go, I want to work there.
And also, even if like sometimes if you have a long job description which thinks about all the different aspects of the role,
just break it up.
Sometimes when you do the advert, you don't need to tell everybody everything.
For real.
Just give them the key points. Like what you want them to understand is a high level description of the role, and also the skills and attributes that you're looking for. You don't need to tell them what they'll be doing Monday through Friday every day, but all the different activities that they could do over the next 2 years. Like, it's very unnecessary.
So unnecessary. Or sorry, I'm gone negative now. Or the job adverts and job descriptions where it's two random things they've put together.
Oh my god! Like, so they'll be like marketing assistant and finance manager.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like, you want me to do what?
Yeah, you want me to do two jobs.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense.
But they would have had two things that need to be done. They would have just been like, oh, don't want to pay for another person. Let's just get someone. So you'll have like,
I've seen employee relations, obviously. I've seen employee relations and like benefits analyst as one. I'm like, are you sick? Like, are you okay? What? Like, you want me to go from disciplinary to analysing how people are using benefits? Like, are you okay?
So it'd be like comp and ben specialist and office manager or something like, stupid like that. Like,
yeah, those are the worst. I think, like, do you not have shame? Like, no, split those roles up.
Yeah, especially when they're absolutely unrelated. It's just because they have a couple of extra jobs that they need. You know what they love to do that with? Office managers and EAs and PAs. Mm-hmm. You can be anything /PA, anything /EA, anything /office manager.
It's so bad.
Anything. You could be finance manager /office manager, admin assistant times office manager, marketing manager, EA. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And those are the people, when you find them in them jobs here, that they were never really qualified to do either job. Do you know what I mean? It might have been like the PA, they needed some marketing support, so like, oh, she can do it or he can do it, and now they're both, but they haven't been well qualified in either side. Literally jack of all trades.
It's crazy. That's why it's always good to speak to at least one or two people, I think, outside of an interview process that work for the company that you go to. Even if you, like, I get people messaging me on LinkedIn and say, oh, what was it like for you? Or where I am now, if they've got an interview, I get some that will say, oh, like, how are you finding it? And I'm nothing to do with like the process that they're in. I think that's really good, because for me, as you all know, the hellhole that is the school that I worked at.
You should expose. I
do. When I walked into the school, I knew straight away that I was in hell. Like, I knew it was bad. And do you know how I knew it was really bad? It was hot. Yeah.
It was in hell.
Literally. Do you know how I knew it was really bad? Is the person that I was managing had met the person that I had replaced, and they told me to email that person. And the person emailed me back. So the previous HR manager
that had left,
and,
so from their private
she
email address,
apologized to me. She apologized to me.
Like now
that I've taken this role. Yeah.
Oh, that's a red flag if I ever heard one.
Listen, I'm so happy I didn't drop out of any interview processes.
Yeah. Green flag.
Go on.
When the person who used to do the job is still
promoted,
is still there to hand over to you. I've been promoted internally. Like that's a proper green flag. I love when you come into a role and you say, oh, you're interviewing for a role. Oh, why has this role become available? Oh, such and such has been here for a long time. This has been promoted into this role, or has decided to make a lateral move into another team. But don't worry, they'll be here to hand over to you.
Yeah, that's nice.
All of that stuff, music to my ears. Yeah. Not that the person left unexpectedly. There's no handover. There's no handover document. We can't contact them under any circumstances. Or like on the green flag side, I have also seen ones where the person has already left, or maybe it's taken a long time to recruit, but that person is willing to come back and do like a day or two of handover, because that just tells me that they don't hate you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. That's a green flag, having a handover.
Imagine.
No handover document. Person never doesn't answer the phone anymore.
Yeah, for real.
Didn't write their notice.
No one wants to talk about them.
Oh, like coming into like a role after someone has been exited. I've like, if you do interim jobs, you can get that a lot. So I've come in a couple of times to roles where someone has been exited, and it's always so funny because like there's people will feel differently about it. So there'll be some people that really like that person, some people that hated that person, and so you have to like basically work between the two. So the ones who really like that person, you'll be coming in and be thinking, oh, you'll never be as good as Dave. You'll never be as good as Sally. And the ones that hated them are like a bit apprehensive, but also very happy that they're gone. So it's just like, yeah, very funny. Oh my God, just on Netflix. I feel like we are just above time, but quickly on Netflix. So Netflix they announced like a new culture strategy. And they basically have this new rule. I think they're calling it the keeper rule. So basically they're asking managers to think about if they were to hire their team member again, knowing everything they know now, if they had the opportunity, would they hire them again? So if they had the opportunity to, start from scratch, knowing everything they know now, would they rehire their team member? And if the answer is no, then they say if they think it's fair to part ways.
I don't like that.
Wait,
Because
before you say anything, they also said that if that team member is going through a hard time, it's not about like that hard time, it's about generally what you know of the team member. Would you hire them again, having worked with them now?
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't feel bad about it if it's used correctly.
Yeah, it feels a bit like blurry in terms of like, how much, because when you think
you could always get better.
Yeah, so it's just, and when someone, for example, if someone's been there a while, you're going to see all parts of them in terms of like their personality.
That's
and stuff.
Good though.
It is, but then what if like there's a side of their personality that doesn't necessarily gel with yours? It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but it just doesn't gel with you. Could that then be a reason why you wouldn't hire them again?
Some guidelines around it, because I feel like in that case, I will still hire that person, because there's people that I've worked with that they're nice enough, but they're not my kind of people.
Yeah, but
they get the job, but they get the job done, and that's all I care about.
You need managers who think like that.
Yeah,
because you get the managers who think in a friend way, or do I actually like them, rather than do they get the job done? So there'd have to be a lot of like caveats in terms of the criteria.
But I think it would be better for performance management if managers thought like that. Obviously, this is Netflix in America, and it's very easy to do like
stuff like this. Yeah.
But I feel like if you thought, okay, knowing everything I know now, would I rehire this person? That is a good way to think about, what you're happy about or what you're not happy about when it comes to your team and your team members. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes I think we do fall into a trap. I say we as managers or people or whatever, of thinking, well, they're here now, let's just make do. So certain things that they're doing, if there is underperformance and it's not meeting expectations, we kind of just think this person's been here. Maybe they're not exactly smashing it out the park, but it's good enough, or it's just maybe less than good enough, but they're here, they've been here for a couple of years, the performance has dipped, and we just kind of sit in that. Whereas actually, if you think about it more actively, it could be good. if obviously dealt with correctly, because you want someone who's going to be enthusiastic, who's going to be motivated, not maybe every single day, but the majority of days.
Yeah.
When you're working with that, there's one person, that I've worked with before, and I have like likened him to Eeyore. Like,
LOL.
Yeah, like when I've spoken to him, he's so low energy, and he's very negative. So if you said like, how was your weekend, he'll say, oh, I mean, I'm still here, so do you know what I mean? Like, he's still fine if he did his work, but then he's also slow. So he's low energy, he's slow, he's unmotivated, he's negative, been there for a very long time when we worked together. And it's like, why are you still here? If you were going to redesign this team, you would say this person is not performing well. And on top of that, they don't have the right attitude. It's really hard to work with such and such person. Like, why are they here? But they're just here because they've been here.
Yeah, I hear that.
It might not be an underperformance conversation, but it might be a conversation about, like, you know,
the fit. I know they don't like that word,
yeah,
but the
like
cultural fit.
Not even a conversation about the fit, but just in terms of, like, and that person, the other part of it is that they're in a customer service role. It was an IT role where they had to speak to people and solve problems. That
would be performance then.
It's not performance, because like the attitude and the way you talk, it's not necessarily performance, because I mean it could be better, yeah. But it wasn't. That is, the talking isn't the bit that, like.
But what was the impact on the people that he would have to deal with? Like, was there feedback?
Yeah, it's like we don't want to talk to him. Don't want to call that person.
To me, that's performance.
Yeah, but if he was actually doing the job, it would have been okay, because you could have someone in IT who's maybe not the most active person, but if they actually resolve your query and they get back to you in the time, that's the big issue. You know, like, hit the SLA.
Yeah, for real.
Hit the SLA.
Yeah.
If you don't hit the SLA with a smile, service level agreement, like the time frames where you have to do certain things. If you hit it but you don't do it with a smile, I can manage that. Yeah. But the actual, like, not hitting the SLAs and stuff is the main thing. Yeah. So I think managers would just have to be aware of, like, what performance actually, like, good performance looks like, what bad performance looks like, what they actually want in their teams, why someone would be someone they would rehire versus wouldn't. And I think they should have to justify it. Not, I wouldn't rehire this person because I wouldn't want to go to the pub with them. I
feel like most companies just do that at exit, don't they? If they're a regrettable loss or not with the employee. Yeah. And that's the only time they have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, so I don't know how it's working for them at the moment. It's definitely in the US.
Of course it's in the US. I've got one more thing before we wrap up.
Yeah.
So it's a TikTok that I saw. You said me and someone else sent it to you. And it's about the company Dell. So I'm sure there's a lot of Dell laptops around. Also ThinkPads.
Shout out Lenovo.
Yeah, so basically Dell has said to a number of employees who are remote that if they stay remote and don't come to the office in a hybrid way, but don't come to the office, they will never get promoted or receive a salary increase.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head, but
it was high.
A very high percentage of those employees said, keep your promotion and keep your money.
Yeah.
And said, nope, I want to stay fully remote. And that's what a number of them have done.
Well, I think, like, it actually makes a lot of sense, because you can go somewhere else and get that. If you're happy in your job, you know how much you're getting paid, you know how much your bills are, you're settled. Like, yeah, you might not get a promotion here, but it's not like you can never progress in your career. You can just go somewhere else when you're ready. And now it's even better because they've put that out. You've all agreed that no one is going to hassle you to come to the office. Like, you have that certainty. They'd never say they're going to fire you, because they could never. They would lose so much of their staff. But yeah, now no one's going to bother you to come to the office. You can do the job that you're enjoying doing. There's no issue. Like, it's really, like, unless you were, dying to progress specifically at Dell, what difference does it make? That was very stupid of them, I think.
I feel like it just shows what people value, to be honest. And especially because this was
I'm going to find the percentage.
This was the American entity of Dell. And I feel like in America, the corporate life is very fast paced. It's very dog eat dog world. It's very, you do have to be seen to be promoted and all of that stuff. And I feel like a lot of American employees have basically taken the opportunity to show that, actually, do you know what? since COVID. I'm good. Like, you know, working at Dell in the US as well, you're not going to be on like crap money. It's a tech company. It's a big tech company. They're all going to be on like, you know, a lot of them will be on six figures. So why would I not be at six figures at home, please? Where I can work from home from morning, go from home, pick up my kids or walk the dog or whatever it is, go to the gym, come back home, and I'm making good money. Of course, like Dell was very stupid.
They were so stupid. Oh,
if you don't come in, you're not going to get promoted. Okay. And for those who are working from home that are already in senior positions and don't give a heck.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Hello.
Like it literally doesn't make any sense. I was trying to find out what percentage it was, but I remember it was really high. So obviously they can't fire them all. It's just ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's something to do. And you know what? It shows me that some companies really believe more in their source than they should. Because they obviously thought, oh, our employees love us. They won't want to leave. Yeah, we're going to scare them and they're going to think. And the employees said, they have now, it's not, they don't have any less job security.
Exactly.
They have job security. Exactly. And they don't need to come to the office.
What would you do?
I would do the same thing that they did. If I wanted, it depends what was important to me. If I was working down the road, and it wasn't going to be as stressful, I don't mind going to the office, to be honest, like a day a week or something. Like, it doesn't bother me if it's close. But if it's like if I took the job thinking I wasn't going to have to commute and now the job is far away, or I've moved away since, or I just don't want to go to the office, I would do it. Because you can always, when you're ready to move, if you know you're not going to get pay rises and progression are not guaranteed anyway. So if you know they're not guaranteed anyway, now at least you know what you're working with. You know, when the time is right, you have to leave.
Yeah, I think they should have said no bonus if but they probably couldn't because it's in contracts. But
yeah, maybe. But also I think they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot, because they're gonna lose good people, and there'll be some people who do a really good job who at some point Dell themselves will want to promote.
It's true,
but they're not going to be able to.
It's true.
They're going to have to break their own rules. They're going to be.
I was just going to say, knowing like what companies are like, they're probably going to do some quiet promotions.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. They're going to have to do some. They're going to have to break their own rules and be like, oh, we really want to promote Joe. Oh, but we can't because Joe's on the no-fly list. And then eventually they're just going to tie themselves up in knots because it's such a big percentage of their workforce. They're going to really struggle with succession planning. Yeah. How do you do succession planning when you're not allowed to promote certain people? Yeah, so that means that you have to focus on the ones. But the employees who are willing to go to the office, they will then put themselves in a position where they're in a much smaller pool for those promotions. But I bet it'll be the rubbish ones.
I didn't want to say it.
The ones who know they might not get a job elsewhere.
I didn't want to say it. Those are the ones that will be like, I'm going to go to the office.
I think that was very silly.
The ones that have been rejected 3 times already.
Yeah.
Now's my time to shine. Yeah.
Now one of 2.
It's me. Oh, gosh.
I think that's... This is a very long episode. Let's go, please.
Now it's time to watch England bring it home. Or in Anthony Joshua's words, it's coming to yards.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I just was a loser. I can't lie, he's such a loser.
He tweeted it's coming yard, and everyone was like, don't do that.
It's coming yard. Literally, he's a loser. Like he's literally a loser.
Who, Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, he's a loser. He's a loser. It's just obviously not. He's a very attractive man, but I don't know what else there is like there.
There goes like any interactions with Anthony. I'm a married woman, so it's not even that. But I'm just like,
I'm not interested. Actually, Anthony Joshua literally has rocks for brains
because of what he said about living with his mum and stuff.
He just says very stupid things. Like,
I mean, he's a boxer,
huh? Mm-hmm. Literally. If I go into my thoughts about what kind of people go into boxing, they might cancel me on the internet. The boxing people, but I don't care about them. The boxing community.
No, I don't give a heck.
Anyway, it's coming home.
It's coming home.
And if it doesn't, sorry guys.
Oh gosh, I hope it does, because this country, as much as we lose, we're very sore losers.
We are.
We haven't won the World Cup since 1966.
And they won't let us forget
every single 4 years they act like they're going to win. And then they're upset when they don't win.
Euros, World Cup.
And then they don't win. I'm hoping that they are the underdogs out of England and Spain. England are the underdogs, and I'm just hoping they do it. I don't want anyone coming from my Saka, my Bellingham.
We should do something special for the listeners if we win. What should we do? What can we offer? If England win, then we will announce the date of our live.
If you guys know what Lola's on right now. All right, cool. If England win, we'll announce the date of our next live show.
No, I meant the live on Instagram.
Oh, look at me. Well, you get both.
Okay. All right then. All right. We can edit anything we want to edit anyway.
You get something live.
You get something. Something will be live. Yeah. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Bye.